Head coach Aaron Glenn spoke yesterday to the media for well over 35 minutes, talking about a variety of topics that I'm sure we're going to get into here on the show. But there was one comment in particular, one that caught my attention, and I listened to it. I watched it. I listened to it. I watched it. I listened to it. I watched it over and over again. And folks, did Aaron Glenn just drop a major hint about the Jets' draft plans? We'll talk about it. Boy Green Daily starts now.
Oh my gosh, it's morphin' time. To me, talking New York Jets is my superpower. Boy Green Daily starts now. Wow! Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily.
It's not just football, man.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Offense, defense, special teamwork, Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Let's go!
Let's go, baby. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. It's great to have you here on the program. Make sure you guys like the video here on YouTube and hit subscribe if that's where you're watching. But also, a tip of the cap to our Facebook users that watch us on Facebook, Twitter, perhaps, replay on YouTube, or the audio-only version of the podcast as well. All of that is also available for you, again, wherever you get your podcast. So we're breaking down some of the key moments from the Aaron Glenn presser yesterday, and then one in particular that caught my attention. So we'll be talking about that here on the program today. But we've got a special guest here on a Wednesday. You may say, Wednesday? Who joins you on Wednesday? Well, normally no one, just me and my other personalities. But that pales in comparison to the personality of this individual. It's a different day, but we're willing to call an audible at the line of scrimmage. It's just the kind of show we are. So let's bring him in. One of your mama's favorite guests. It's Bob Lederer here on the show, the author of that very book behind me over my left shoulder. What's up, Bob Lederer?
Hut, hut, hut.
Does it feel odd being here on a Wednesday?
Yeah, it does feel odd, but I know on Friday when I won't be able to be here, I'll be itching to be here. So this is my fix for the week.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's
It's
sure.
one of those things, other people have other things they're addicted to, and this is it for me.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing to be addicted to, that's for sure, which appreciate everyone in the audience. It is April 1st, so I guess a warning to all. Make sure you watch out for those April Fool's jokes and takes and articles and things. Oh, my God, the Jets just traded for this. And you're like, oh, my God, Boy Green text. No, it didn't happen. So just don't. Now, maybe something crazy does happen today, and we have to check it 20 times, and, oh, wait, this is real. But make sure you just give everything a second gander. That's probably good advice for any day of your life, but in particular, today that'll be a good thing to keep an eye out for.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah. I've seen it time and time before. So, folks, don't get got. That's my advice to you. So our March raffle is over. All those raffle tickets are in. So see, we're getting a gifted membership, and I'll highlight that in a second. About halfway through the show, and about, like 20, 30 minutes in, we'll reveal the winner of our March raffle, and then we'll immediately announce the new raffle prizes coming up for this month in April. So we'll be doing all that on the show and those Aaron Glenn comments. Real quick, I saw MFC in here, so let's gift this. He gifted the first membership of the month of April. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's go. Hit it. Yes. There you go. Mother effing Chew here on the program. Thank you kindly. All right, let's go to the old YouTube. We'll see who that membership got gifted to. And then, like I said, we got a bunch of Aaron Glenn comments to get into from yesterday at the coach's breakfast. That membership went to, let me see. Brian Farrell. Congratulations to Brian Farrell, a loyal member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. That's absolutely beautiful. So thank you. Thank you, MFC. That's, again, a raffle ticket for the month of April. Before we do the Aaron Glenn clip, here, Bob, I just want to highlight this other comment here from MFC, who throws this on the mix. He's been a member for 4 months. I think there's been a glitch. I think he's been a member for much longer than that, but the YouTube gods must have screwed that up.
Wow.
He says, love the new intro, BG. Have you seen the new intro, Bob?
3 or 4 times yesterday. I think it's excellent.
Okay, excellent. Good. Good
Which
to hear
one?
that you're on the show.
I heard afterwards that number one Austrian Jets fan was in it, and I was trying to figure out which one was the Austrian Jets fan.
Mm-hmm. And were you able to crack that code?
The only thing I came close to was somebody kicking a football, like soccer style. That's the only thing I could figure out, and I didn't think that was it.
That is not it. So you will have to play I Spy when you see the intro next time and see if you can locate it. I'll give you this hint. He is sitting with several other individuals. So maybe that can give a hint, perhaps, to where he is. But that's the cool thing. I'll give a shout out to Gator is that every time I watch an intro, I see something new. I'm like, oh. So there's all these little Easter eggs planted in there.
I'm gonna have to slow mo it to.
Yeah, there you go. It is very quick. It's like 46 seconds maybe in total. The whole shish kebab.
And Hep did a great job with the music.
Oh yes. For people who don't know, that's not fake. That's not some made up nothing. That Hep actually went to the studio, recorded that song, and then Gator put some drums and all kinds of. I'm not a musician. He put all kinds of other things behind it, but that is really Hep. That's really Hep's voice, and he went through it. So thank you to Hep for going to the studio, carving out time. I saw some behind the scenes stuff from it. We'll post that in the future. So that is 100% the truth. So
and now we know what your superpower is.
Yes. Tank for Ties, a raffle at the end of the show. Again, it'll be in about 20 minutes or so. In about 20 minutes, we'll reveal the winner, and you guys will see it picked live here on the show. And then I'll immediately announce the April raffle. I'm looking at it right now. I'm peeking at it before any of you are peeking at it. I see what the next prizes are for the next month. So hopefully you guys enjoy. So that'll be coming in about 20 minutes, Tank for Ties. So hold on tight. One more membership being gifted. Then we'll get to the Aaron Glenn comments here that I think are very interesting. Another gifted membership, Nanga Iboko.
Hey, hot and heavy.
Yeah, I love all the activity. A hot start. This should be a very seismic month. That went to Michael Palermo, by the way, out in our audience. So, Naga, this is for our April raffle. So, again, this will be the raffle coming up throughout the rest of the month. So, I appreciate that here on the program. Yeah, because we'll be going to the draft. It'll be a grand old time. But, yes, this is the comment that stood out to me. I saw a different Aaron Glenn comment stood out to a lot of other people, and we'll get to that. But I want to get to this one. Did Aaron Glenn just hint at what the New York Jets' plans are? Let's go to the footage.
Yeah, this time of year, there's a lot of discussion with the draft of positional value. You can't take a running back here. You can't take a safety here, right?
Yeah.
2023 with the Lions.
I know what you're going to ask.
You guys take Gibbs and you take Campbell.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, Wade the next day. You guys got a hammer on that, and that's really worked out very well in Detroit.
And they're 2 all-pro.
Right. I imagine you had opinions before that, but did that teach you anything, that experience of going through that draft, and where's your feeling on that?
Yeah, I've learned this really with Sean Payton. Man, you got to shut the outside noise. And who do you love? If you love the player, go get the player. And I truly believe in that. If you love the player, go get it, regardless of what everybody's saying, regardless of positional value. If you love the player, go and get him. And obviously, me and Dan was together in New Orleans all those years,
right.
And that never left us. And I'm not changing that either. And that's something that me and Moose talk about a lot, and we utilize that. If we love the player, man, we're going to get him.
So Caleb Downs at 2, then, right?
If we love the player, we're going to get him. We're still in the process of evaluating all this stuff. That's okay.
Interesting from old Aaron Glenn. If you missed that, I know it may be quiet for some of you out there in the audience. Brian Costell, the New York Post, asked AG and said, hey, let me bring up the Lions from 2023. In that draft, the Lions took a couple of guys in the first round that had a lot of people angry. All the draft graders the next day lit up the Lions for taking Jahmyr Gibbs, a running back in the first round, and Jack Campbell, an off-ball linebacker in the first round. The Lions got lit up for that one. Not very popular, but they both became All-Pros, as AG said, so it worked out. And AG says he has that same mentality. It doesn't matter what the outside noise is. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I was counting it there, Bob. I'm like, how many times did he say one particular word over and over and over again? Love, 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 love. Wow, did he say love 6 times in that little answer that he gave to Costello?
And the answer to your question is no, 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 no. I don't think he was talking about Jeremiah.
Well, I don't know. Lou B said he counted 7. All right. If you close your eyes, maybe he counted at 8.
No.
So add that in. Was there some love, a love connection, a love boat, a love train, a love? Maybe that's what he's talking about, huh, Bob?
No. I we're going to get into this more deeply, but
sure.
Aside from the very controversial comment that Aaron Glenn made about a specific quarterback that's on the roster now.
Yeah.
I think between Muji and Glenn, but particularly Muji,
sure,
we got general manager speak. We got could be, might be, sure we'll consider it. Yeah, it's a possibility, which is exactly what you're supposed to do, because until and unless you make a deal with another team and they know what they're getting or going to pick, and you know what you're going to get and or pick in the draft, and this is only in the draft, all of this is best kept because the other team shouldn't know what you're doing. I mean, there's so much talk now about a particular Alabama quarterback.
Yeah.
And Ty Simpson might be there at 16. He might not. He might be there at 33. He might not. But only the Jets organization knows how much they think he's worth taking and taking the risk. And they're not going to tell anybody that.
Good.
Nor should they.
Right.
Because I want to see, BG's face in the audience of 55,000 people outside the stadium in Pittsburgh when that pick is announced. I know they're going to absolutely rivet and go directly to you and Lou B. And
they should.
And everybody, because that's what the country is waiting for. But
obviously,
until that sacred moment.
So why don't you love, Bob? Come on. Isn't love what we all fight for? Lover boy, love songs, romantic comedies, rom-coms, love, Love. What's wrong with love? You found love in your life. Beautiful children, a beautiful wife. You got a lot of love. Why not love?
I love love. Okay. But do I love love more than I love Reese? Do I love love more than I love some other linebacker or pass rusher or quarterback when it comes just to the draft? Just to the draft, I'm talking.
All right.
No, I think you overshot with your conjecture.
I see.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Just a little bit outside.
Just a little.
All right. That's fine. So let me pull my love boat aside here for a second. Okay. I'm sure it'll come back when Lou B calls in. Okay?
Boat. Okay.
There you go. Let's pull it. Let's pull it aside. But what about the greater question? So let's take out running back, because they have Breece Hall, and to me, I don't think there's any world now this would surprise me. They keep Breece Hall and draft Jeremiah Love. Like, that would be stunning to me. I feel like if a Love thing's going to happen, a Breece Hall trade has to happen. They have to go one and the same, and those are very difficult things to pull off. So let's put that aside. But AG wasn't just asked about running back. He was asked about, like positions that aren't considered premium, like a pass rusher, premium. Premium. There's a couple of primos, but his answer would also suggest, putting Jeremiah Love aside, that Sonny Styles could be in the conversation. He's an off-ball. Maybe Caleb Downs. He's a safety. Rich Cimini, you heard, made that joke after. So Caleb Downs at 2 then, and then they had a little fun.
Yeah, I didn't. The volume on the question was
okay.
Huh?
I see.
Can we go a little louder? Huh?
Yeah.
And I'm wearing my hearing aids today.
Sure.
Too.
Oh, right. Okay.
but he clearly wasn't referencing the number 2 draft pick in the draft, because they can just take whoever they want,
right.
and it's not a matter of a love situation there. The love situation he's talking about is the next pick or picks that they get, and what do they do with them. And last week I conjecture they're going to have to trade up to get the wide receiver they want.
Probably.
But maybe it's something else, because, as you or somebody else has talked about this week, Washington really needs some extra picks in this draft, and they pick 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the Jets can make a deal, get into this number 7 position, and get a really blue chipper that every other team in the league wants. And one thing I heard yesterday, it might have been on your show, maybe somewhere else, but what if the Giants don't take Styles? Wow. If I could get to number 7 and get Styles the way everybody is talking about him, wow, you have really fortified the linebacker position after you've already really built a much more formidable front defensive line with all the moves you made in free agency and the deal you made with Tennessee. And that would be, a big move. From what Muji was saying the other day, he basically said nothing, but I think they have some plans to get another wide receiver who's a free agent, or maybe to make a deal, and to draft somebody. And as your guest on Monday, pointed out, there is one particular wide receiver who probably would be there in the second round that he really loves. And I was reading some other analysis of his abilities from scouts yesterday, and they are very much impressed as well with his size and his speed, and his ability to catch the ball. And so he might really be, underestimated by a lot of the public, wide receiver choice. If you get someone like that, and he's a good player, we don't know, and you add another veteran wide receiver who's pretty good, and you zeroed in on one guy yesterday that you would settle for. I'm trying to remember. A long time. I think he played with San Diego for a long time. Now, I'm not interested in a guy who's played 9, 10, 11 years. That doesn't interest me at all. It's got to be somebody who's maybe not in the prime of his career, but maybe just out of it. So he might be a 5 or a 6 year veteran, but not a guy who's played for 11 years and is having trouble at this time hooking on with anybody.
Hey, let's get into the quote that everyone was
talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Let's get into this.
A lot. Yeah.
I've had some thoughts, but I haven't shared them anywhere. I wasn't on Boy Green. Yeah, I wasn't on Boy Green Meets Woody yesterday. The Syracuse Mets were playing, so there's going to be a few.
By the way, how did we do? I haven't looked up yet. How did we do yesterday?
Unfortunately, it ended up being what is the right word? It was a rain delay, and then ultimately rain out, and they lost because enough of the game had transpired. So
who started yesterday for the Syracuse Mets?
That is an excellent question that I probably should know the answer to.
I'll look it up. Yeah. But more importantly, I thought they were going to change the name of the team, that they wanted to have.
Apparently, I thought this was a joke, but apparently it's serious. In the middle of their attempt to change the name, they ran into a legal issue with the team they picked. They didn't have the rights, so they had to restart the entire process and delay it a year. And I'm like, what the? You guys are a professional team. How does that even happen? So
it's a big bucks organization that owns a slew of minor league teams.
Right, yeah, and so an absolute disaster apparently. So yes, they were supposed to change it, but that's a whole disaster.
Okay,
so anywho, so I wasn't on Boy Green Meets Woody yesterday, and I won't be on Boy Green Meets Woody on Thursday. More Syracuse Mets baseball. So I have not got a chance to share my thoughts on this, and I've seen a lot of people have had some intense reactions. So folks, this was Aaron Glenn's comments on Gino Smith.
Something about a quarterback, and I'm going to say a quarterback with a chip on his shoulder. And listen, he's proven a lot in this league of what he's done, especially when you take those times when he was in Seattle. Listen, he fits exactly what we're trying to do. So obviously we've created an identity. The foundation of our offense is pretty good now. Like, I just feel like he's the guy that's going to lead us to the promised land. He's the guy that's going to touch the ball more than anybody else on offense. And listen, I know he had his struggles, and I think a lot of quarterbacks, they have their struggles. If you look at over the last 5 years, the guy that's thrown the most interception. I mean, the top guys are up there.
So the quote in question is, Gino will lead us to the, quote, promised land. Now, I heard that immediately because I was listening to the press conference and taking notes, and I just said, oh boy, I know how people are going to take that one. And they did. And I saw a lot of people are destroying AG, and this is why he's an idiot, and all this other stuff. There's some very intense criticisms. I just say this. Was he a little overzealous? Yes, of course. He promised land normally means to the common folk the Super Bowl, the promised land, or a loose interpretation I suppose could be playoffs, but it normally means the Super Bowl. The promised land, if I ask anyone in the street, that's the championship. That's the this. Okay. So, him saying that, like, I knew how some people were going to respond. To me, if the worst thing AG did was just sort of be overconfident in his quarterback, so be it. People complained last year when he played the game on a week-to-week basis, oh, I don't know who my quarterback is. And people were like, come on, AG, it's obvious. Stop being so annoying. Now this offseason, he crowns Gino Smith at QB1. Now more people have problems with it. Oh, God, crowning him, not even a competition. What kind of coach are you? So no matter what AG does, he's going to catch heat from people out there in the audience. To me, again, the comment was a little overzealous to say promised land. It sort of felt like, as he started talking about it, felt like his own energy, like, yeah, I believe in this guy, and he just spit it out. But to me, I didn't care. It didn't bother me at all. I don't mind if he's confident in his guy. What else did you want him to say outside of just not saying that specific quote? So I think people are totally overreacting, and it's just crazy.
BG.
Oh boy! So we're not going to agree.
What are we going to do with you, BG?
Okay.
Let me tell you, I don't know if the fans out there dislike when I bring up what's going on in Chicago.
Okay.
But there is an exact comparison with that in Chicago.
Oh, great. Okay.
The general manager of the Bears today is quoted as saying, we're close to deciding that Caleb Williams is our long-term solution at quarterback. They're close to this after the season Caleb Williams just had. What he's talking about is signing him to a long-term contract. But we're close to deciding. We haven't made up our minds yet. And BG,
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Which one? What, the Bears?
Well, the Bears thing. Now, for those who don't know, because I assume a lot of people don't know the particulars about contract stuff, they just watch their favorite football team. A rookie cannot negotiate with this team. It doesn't matter if he is God walking on earth. Like CJ Stroud in his rookie year, people are like, oh my goodness, pay him immediately. You can't. The CBA says that a player has to complete his third season before you can even talk. There's no holdout, no nothing. There's nothing a team can do. They cannot extend you, whether they want to or you want to, until their third year is complete. So obviously, Caleb just completed year 2? Second. Is that correct? Yeah. So he's not even eligible for another year. What a ridiculously stupid thing for Ryan Poles to say.
They're making up their mind.
That's stupid.
Okay, so let me talk about my reaction to what he said.
Sure, please.
My first reaction was, what the? My second reaction was, if I'm Gino Smith,
all right,
I'm going, I love this guy.
100%.
Or depending upon the confidence level of Gino Smith, it's he just put the onus on me that I'm the make or break for this season.
Yeah.
I just, I don't think that Woody Johnson, when he hired Glenn and Muji, said, I'd really like us to be on the back cover of the newspapers here more often than it is, in a positive way. I don't know if he said that, although I think it's kind of understood when you're in a market like New York and you're competing with another professional football team, and they're basically considered the favorite in the town, like the Yankees are the favorite in the baseball circles in New York. That maybe you want to be seen and be quoted, but this is not the way you want it done. The other thing is, it just seems to me, and I'd have to go look up and be specific, which I'm not prepared to do right now.
Okay.
Aaron, stop with the cliches. I mean, that's a cliche, and he uses things like that all the time to express himself. And thirdly, and a lot of the time I watch Boomer and Gio before I come on with you, because they're on really early in the morning. And Boomer said this morning, you wouldn't find John Harbaugh saying something like that in a million years, because he's been around and he knows, don't put expectations on any of your players, at least not publicly. If you're going to do it, you do it in private.
By the way, is it fair to compare AG to a guy that's won a Super Bowl and who's been a head coach for now his 19th year?
Well, yeah, he's one of 32 coaches.
I guess. I don't know.
It's a very esteemed position to be in.
Certainly.
And, I don't know, AG, keep it in the locker room. I mean, after they make their draft picks, the first night and the second day of the draft, even then, you rarely hear a team say, damn it, we got it. We're gonna win the division next year, much less the championship or the Super Bowl. They say, well, we have a lot of expectations. We think these guys are really good football players. And that's, at the most, what AG should have been saying yesterday, that we've made a lot of additions, particularly on defense. We're really happy with that. We've got ourselves a veteran quarterback who we think can help us get better this year and help us bring along, the next wonder kid that we're looking to bring in this year or next. That would have been the appropriate way, to speak to the press yesterday. Basically, say nothing. Say nothing that they didn't already know, wouldn't expect you, to be saying. In fact, we're not going to do it today, but I would bet you that, and I think it would be smart. Go try to access the comments that the new coaches at Arizona, and Tennessee. But what do you think Rob Saleh is saying down in Tennessee? They're not going overboard. They're not going hoopla.
Well, Saleh already tried it.
No, they're not.
Saleh tried the overboard thing. He's the one who said we're going to win Super Bowls here in his opening press conference with the Jets. So, he learned on the second run. AG's a first-year head coach.
But did he learn something from that? And I'm saying, what is he saying now in Tennessee?
Sure. But again, Saleh, this is his second opportunity. This is Aaron Glenn's first opportunity. I think there's going to be learning moments during this magical carpet ride. I love what you said, though, about Gino. If I'm Gino, I'm beaming. Yeah, my guy believes in me. And apparently, I think AG was telling this kind of stuff to Gino behind the scenes. When he was traded to the Jets, he immediately does this interview with Josina Anderson. And Josina, rightfully so, in the middle of the interview, asks, hey, has your role been established, like what you are? And Gino sort of cracked a smile and said, I'm not going to say anything before the coach. Coach makes all the decisions. I don't want to, say anything out of step. But the way that he responded certainly seemed like AG told him, hey, you're my guy. But I'm just drawing conclusions based on what sort of body language and stuff. And now hearing this, it seems to confirm all those things I thought before, that he crowned this guy. So I'm sure Gino's beaming today, which is awesome. That's good. He should be.
Well, that's what I think.
Yeah, that's fair. And the audience is letting them know what they think. And there's a lot of, a lot of people in your camp, Bob. And I would say this for people. I thought AG, again, he spoke for like between 35 and 37 minutes to the press for this coach's breakfast. I thought for the most part, he was well received. AG was a lot looser. He was cracking jokes. He was, like grabbing Rich's shoulder. He was like all kinds of fun stuff was happening. And I thought he was pretty insightful. And he took accountability, like blaming himself for the Justin Fields failure and other things. Like, he just felt like a very different version of AG than we've seen with Ask Rich, and there wasn't any combativeness. Again, if you want to throw the challenge flag on the Gino Smith thing out there in the audience, so be it. But for the most part, I thought AG was received very well. Now, to be honest, none of that matters. It's about winning. He could have continued to be a jerk. If they start winning games, no one would care. If he was happy-go-lucky and then they lost games, no one would care. So it's just a now thing we're talking about here at the end of March / early April. But good for AG. Looks like he's learned some things. I think he, rightfully so, and we'll see what else he has learned once we get to the season and the construction of this team. Let's do this, Bob. Let's give. Tank for Ty was asking for it earlier, so folks, we're going to do our March giveaway right now here on the show. And a reminder: we've got our 24-ounce New York Jets tumbler, all the different logos of Jets yesteryear, New York Titans, Jets. We've got a New York Jets training camp hoodie down here. We got a Sam Darnold shirt. We're giving away all of that right now. It is at random. If at any point during the month of March you spent $3 on the channel, you have a raffle ticket. If you have one raffle ticket or a cajillion raffle tickets, you are currently in the running. So I'm going to pull up the wheel of name picker. I set this up before the show, and it's completely at random. So it's up to you guys in the universe. We'll see, or the gods, rather, I guess, to the universe here. Okay, here you go. I will tell you, this is one of the closest raffles we've ever had. Look at that pie. There's not a lot of large slices of that pie. So, this is going to be the closest spin we've ever had, Bob, quite frankly. Very possible. You want to give us a countdown or something, Bob?
Sure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, there we go. The wheel is spinning. Good luck to all of you out there in the universe. Here we go. Here we go.
Ooh,
congratulations. There you
MFC.
Go. MFC mother effing chew. I don't believe MFC has either ever won a raffle or it's been a long time since he has. So congratulations to none other than MFC, baby. This is terrific news. MFC, please reach out. You have me on Discord and basically every other social media app on the planet. Feel free to reach out to me, my friend. I also will throw up my email on the screen. So congratulations. That's the wrong email. Let me make sure I get the right one up. Yes, here's my email. There you go. Throw it up right there on the screen. That is paulasdjr@gmail.com. MFC. Reach out and we will get your package shipped out to you ASAP. Congratulations again. You get a New York Jets brand new tumbler, New York Jets training camp hoodie, and the Sam Darnold nostalgic throwback long sleeve. Very nice. Congratulations to MFC. Excellent. And he is in this chat. He was gifting, quite frankly, earlier today. So choo-choo. There you go,
By the
baby.
way, one last comment about Aaron Glenn and his comment yesterday.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
I feel sorry for Aaron. No,
Why
nothing that he says seems to go right or seems to be taken, in the right way. And I feel sorry for him. And maybe the lesson is speak softly and carry a lot of wins.
Yeah, that's great advice. I got to crochet that one on a pillow. I just think a lot of people are they sort of have this they're predisposed to the AG being terrible, and a lot of people didn't want him as a head coach, and he was a defensive guy and first-year head coach, and there was a lot of things that he didn't check off the bucket list for people, and with him not winning, it just sort of, in these people's minds, validated their criticisms. See, I didn't want him anyway. So whatever he says is going to piss people off out there in the universe. But, like I said, it is what it is. It's all about the wins. Win. And then
he's getting paid the big bucks. And so, he shouldn't feel too bad about that.
Hey, here we go. Fastest Food Review sending in a super chat for our boy MFC.
Wow.
Congratulations, MFC bro, from at Fastest Food Reviews, aka Chef Kevin Gilbert, $2 super chat coming in. And let's get to it. So MFC again, make sure you guys tell MFC when you see him back in the chat, or if he is in the chat, that he won our March raffle. So we have an April raffle, and Bob, let's reveal. Are you ready to see the next month's raffle? So that means the $2 super chat today from Chef Kevin Gilbert, the MFC gifted membership, Nangi Boko membership. These are all towards this new raffle we're about to announce here on the show.
I'm sitting on the edge of my seat.
Okay. Now, there are 3 items in the April raffle that are coming up. And one of these may get some immediate criticism. It's possible. One of these items. But I'm telling you, this is sort of for Bobby Jr. It actually, this in a Bobby Jr. inspiration here for this. Here is this month's raffle. The Sauce Gardner jersey, a New York Jets hat, and trading card material. Because while some of you may say, why would I want a Sauce Gardner jersey, this beautiful legacy black current alternate game jersey? But I tell you that we should be thanking the Colts, because not only did they give us the 16th overall pick this year, but the pick next year could be our quarterback. So you should wear this jersey with pride. You should wear it while the Colts are playing as some sort of bad juju and see if you can curse them to lose, because that's best for business for the Jets. So for our audio-only listeners, we have 3 prizes for the month of April. We have a brand spanking new Sauce Gardner Nike Legacy Black alternate game jersey here up for grabs in April. We have a New York Jets new era green-black sideline 3930 flex hat on the program, and trading card set. 50 New York Jets trading cards for the kids and adults out there in the audience, like some trading card action. All of it is there. It's a Sauce jersey, Jets hat, and New York Jets trading cards. I
see Joe Namath and I see Matt Snell's card there.
See, I'm telling you, there's some legendary cards in this set. So again, all that and more. So folks, if you spend $3 on the channel, you'll be eligible for this giveaway. We'll be giving this away on May 1st. The draft will be in the books by the time we give away these prizes. So again, it starts from now all the way throughout the rest of the month. We'll highlight this a variety of times coming up here on the show. So beautiful.
Nice selection. And you're right. If you wear the Sauce Gardner jersey, probably not to a Jets game, but elsewhere, and people say, right. Oh, why are you wearing a Sauce Gardner? Because he's the key to our next quarterback. That's the answer.
100%. I truly believe he's the key to our next quarterback, quite frankly. So, again, I got my Sauce jersey.
Unless they take Ty Simpson this year and he becomes the quarterback. Well, then, even then, if that's the case, they will have gotten him because of Sauce Gardner.
Exactly. So, sauce. Let's get saucy. There you go. Beautiful. Bob, is there anything else you want to get to before we get to the fans?
No, let's get to the fans. They've been waiting long enough.
Fair enough. So here we go. We've got a new HEP song to take us there. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
And the crowd goes wild. There you go.
Popeye would say, I likes it.
Yeah, that's a good take to have. We have 300 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green, and that is one of the most accomplished authors of our lives. That is Bob Lederer, baby. He is the author of Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football. You guys can always see that over my left shoulder in prominent placement here on the program. So show your support. Also, feel free to purchase that book. Draft season. That's a nice gift on Father's Day, Mother's Day,
Yes, it
and
is.
Brother's Day, Sister's Day. Any day. Any day is a good day. That's for sure.
And every week we get questions here about this team that basically harken back to something that they did back then. Like last week we talked about the fact that Weeb didn't like to find players.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't believe in it. And, the whole team wanted to see if Namath was going to get fined, but nobody got fined. So.
Yeah, it's again, history tends to repeat itself, especially in Jets land. So again, it's a great read, and I think it's going to transcend time forever. Every time we think about the Super Bowl, it's the preeminent book to have on the Super Bowl team that covers not just like Benny and the Jets, Benny. It's not just Joe Namath and the Jets, Joe Namath. There's a whole other team there, man, and this book dives into all of the members of that team. Again,
only one of a kind. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's for sure. Let's go to the phone lines here on the program. That's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. We kick it off with Bob.
Doc Severinson.
That's it. What's up, Pep?
Hey, guy. I had to bring my grandkids out, help get them out. So I got into the show a little late, and I got in. I see Bob. I said, "What the heck's going on here?" And it's not Friday, and then I figured it out for Passover, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Well, as I said, I'm gonna be itching on Friday, but there's nothing I can do about the itch except scratch myself. So,
which, by the way, respect to Bob, right? Bob could have just said, "Yeah, I'm just taking the week off. Like, I can't do it on Friday. I'm only a Friday guy. See ya." But Bob opened up the catalog, says, "All right, let me move some things. Let me move heaven and earth here. Here's a couple of days, maybe I could sort of figure out." And I went, "Wow!" So Bob, his agent, his marketing people, his whole team. I want to thank you for the flexibility with Bob Lederer's schedule to get him here on Boy Green Daily on a Wednesday. Yeah.
Well, my family is, I'm the only non-Jew in my family. I'm a Shabbos Goy. And Shabbos Goy is someone
every house I know needs one.
You need one because, I know so much about the Jewish religion because, I've been part of it for almost 30 years.
Do you have a Seder, Hep?
Yeah, we do all this. We do all the stuff. I mean, we don't get so crazy with 7 hours of the stuff. Some people really go.
Wow, you're fully committed. Wow.
Yeah, some really get into it like 7 hours worth.
It's great for the kids. I mean, the whole thing is to educate the kids.
There's a thing I think they have called they hide a piece of matzah, and if you get it, the kid gets $1. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff.
It's everybody should watch the great bit that John Stewart did several years ago, and it's on YouTube, where he said his kids have been brought up both in Christian religion and in the Jewish religion, and he compared what kids get for Easter and what they get for Passover.
Oh yeah,
and it's not a fair trade.
It's not fair.
Who wins that? Who wins that trade?
The Catholics win
Easter.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
But BG, watch it because it's funny as heck.
Okay,
you get like a dreidel, the kids get a basket of candy,
an Easter basket, as opposed on Passover. They get to eat a raw egg.
Oh, well,
that's been burnt. That's been burned.
Yeah, it's been burnt.
Wow, you win some, you lose some, I guess.
Yeah, watch it, BG. You'll get a kick out.
Okay, good. I will.
While you're sitting at the table and having to control everything for the Syracuse Mets.
That's right.
Give it a whirl.
Don't understand.
So I don't have really much Jets, talk because we beat it to death at this point.
Yep.
What was your first reaction to what AG said yesterday?
I had a general feel for AG. I thought he felt a little more chill. I think he's approaching it a little different this year. He's not as uptight, it felt to me. I mean, he did let that one thing out of the bag. Gino's the next savior or something, like taking us to the promised land.
Yeah.
That was like, dude, you were so close. Why'd you have to do that? But I mean, other than that, I think that he just came across a lot better to me. There was nothing in. You too?
Yes, 100%. I think, again, Zach did a beautiful job because he's really good at writing. And he said that last year he noticed that AG, when he was sitting with them, had this quarter zip that was zipped all the way up, and he was like tight, and like literally tight.
Yeah.
Like he was tight. He was all tight and guarded, and he had this like mean mug, angry look on his face to every question. And they said this year, Aaron Glenn was wearing this like sort of button-up shirt that had like 3 or 4 buttons down. He was sort of like just the posture, the sort of vibe he was giving, the laughing. That again, Rich was sitting to his right, and a few times he would grab Rich by the shoulder and say, "This guy over here," like he was joking, like it was just a totally different vibe. Of and it's supposed to be like we're sort of in the eye of the storm right now. We're 22 days away from the draft, but the hay's sort of in the barn for a lot of these things. There's still a lot of work to be done, but like a lot of the stuff, like this is just a quiet moment where they're all can sit around and cut it loose, let the hair down if Aaron Glenn had more of it, and just sort of chill and relax. And so Zach wrote it in his piece about how he went from uptight to looser in physical appearance, and that it felt that way and sort of came across that way in the presser, which I agreed with.
Yeah, and he looked good in the shirt,
the shirt's very nice. Yeah, that was nice. Okay. He keeps himself in great shape, obviously. Works out. Good for him.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to follow up with Gino and say, so what do you think now that he's put all his faith and confidence in you as the guy who's going to take us to the promised land?
I think quarterbacks I don't know. I was going to play quarterback in my final high school season, but apparently they weren't looking for 5'3" starting quarterback. So I stayed at my position of running back, but I briefly considered it in between junior and senior year. And I'll tell you, just being around quarterbacks, they have to be a confident bunch. You have to be confident in yourself, like overwhelmingly, like, should you be that confident? Like you have to believe in yourself more than anybody else. So again, I would have to assume Gino's over the moon about it, because if he's not, he's like, oh, I don't know, then he already has a wrong mentality for New York. He's got to bring it. And it sounds like by all the interviews and things I've heard that he will, but hopefully he does an interview here. That'd be terrific. Hell, I'd love to get Gino Smith on the show myself. I'll see if I can reach out to his people.
That'd be great. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. There he is, Hef, joining us here on the program. Again, it's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. If you guys would like to call into the show, feel free to do so. Up next is Bubba Badshaw.
What up, fellas?
Hey, good morning.
Bob, I bought your book before you asked me. I bought your book.
I thought you bought the digital edition.
The audio book.
I mean, it still counts, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it still counts.
No, it does. You get 2 brownie points.
Okay, good. Because you sort of questioned it like it almost didn't count. But the audiobook totally counts. Totally counts.
No, it does. But I just think there are little things in there as you read it, like we discussed with you last week about smartness, about having guys who are really sharp, on the field. And
so do you think some things are lost from the book to the audio thing is what you're saying, Bob?
Well, it's just that, you hear it and you don't really think about it. And when I read stuff, I will stop and say, wait a minute, let me read that again. Let me see that again.
Badshaw's brain works different. Like he can hear it, and if it sticks out, he can just hit the rewind button.
Yeah.
And he just
I even give you permission to take a yellow marker and mark up your copy.
He does it mentally. You sort of
and I thought the guy, the dude that narrated the audio book, I thought he did good and whatnot, which before I read your book, my wife had wanted me to listen to Britney Spears' autobiography book. And
wow.
It started out with Britney.
A good
right.
comparison.
Yeah, both books were next to each other on the shelf. Yeah.
Well, exactly. It was like, which one do I want? So Britney Spears starts out narrating the book, like the first chapter. And I don't know if y'all have ever heard her talk. I'm sure y'all have heard her sing.
I have.
But talking like this the whole time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just paid like $20 for this book. And I'm like, I've got to sit here and listen to some I don't know, throat cancer survivor, talk about their book, but anyway, so, but anyway, back to that. I just wanted to make sure you remembered I got your book. So here's my quote. So Paul's, doing what he does, defending AG like always, and I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with AG. Like, there was only so much he was going to do last year. Like, I do get that. Now, he has said some dumb stuff. And like I've said in the past, like when we blocked that kick in Tampa Bay, the minute he started dancing on the sideline, I knew we were going to lose that game because that's just Jets fashion. I'm like, they're going to have this playing all week of him dancing and then them winning the game. And I mean, he's done stupid crap like that the whole time. But here's my deal. At the end of the day, he's basically saying Gino's going to take us to the promised land. Mm-hmm. Is he really? I mean, do most people really think he's going to be around next year? Like, and I'm hoping he is. Like, don't get me wrong. I want us to win. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, I want AG to suck. I don't like AG and, fire AG. Like, I'm not that way about it. But at the same time, I mean, I guess my question is, what is the least he's going to have to do to stick around next year? Like, is that win 5 games? Is that the defense, us to be in games all season, only losing by a field goal? Like, what do y'all think? What's the least he's going to have to do to stick around?
I think if AG wins any fewer than 6 games, so I'm saying 5 or fewer, I think AG is fired under any circumstance. If he wins at least 6, I think you can, because again, are all 6 of them this lucky thing that he shouldn't have won and a ball just randomly bounced his direction? Probably not. 6 feels like enough of a number that you sort of get out of that variable, whatever that would be. So I think it's 6 and competency. It's like what he's looking like. I think if he gets 7, it just feels super safe. Like what could have possibly, outside of a locker room scandal disaster, how could he win 7 games and not come back? So I think that's sort of the line in the sand for that. To answer the Gino Smith part of what you said, it's more likely than not that this is just a 1-year thing with Gino. He's in the last year of his deal. Raiders are paying most of the money. Jets have a stopgap, and that's it. But if Gino plays respectable, which I personally think there's a chance to be able to do, why wouldn't Gino want to come back? And why wouldn't the Jets want him back, even if you draft the rookie this year or next year? Because he can be there to bridge the 2027 guy or help with the 2026 guy. So I think there is a path to Gino being here more than 1 year. I mean, H even cracked a joke about that. He says, Gino could go through a season, not throw an interception and throw for like 30 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. Everyone's saying clearly he's just a stopgap. Well, we're not getting rid of him if he's doing that. So There's worlds that go beyond. Obviously, he was being over dramatic there. But if he has that kind of season, who knows? So, but again, the odds and everything would say it's a 1-year thing. He only has 1 year left in his deal. It seems like almost like a non-agreement that like handshake, hey, we just sort of need you to get us through 2026 and let's see what happens. But, the world works in funky ways. Who knows? Maybe he can be here for 2 or 3 years. He's 35, not 45. So it's possible. It's within the realm that he could be here multiple years, depending on how this goes.
I think 6. I kind of lean more towards 7.
Okay.
But I think when it comes to Gino, there's a lot of different possibilities. Now, if he has a great year like BG just described, I think he's out of here. I think he'll go for the big bucks somewhere. I mean, I want to see a guy who has a good year this year, but who understands his position and understands that, you can be here next year and you can probably have a pretty good year next year. But another part of your job is going to be to bring this kid along. And I think Gino could be a very, very distinct possibility and option for the Jets for that, because he's been here before when he was in the prospect situation, when he was, in a situation where he needed to be catered to, babied, that sort of thing, brought along to basically become the number 1 quarterback. And so I would hope that he would have the big picture and recognize, as long as they pay him well, next year, to both quarterback, maybe half a season, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but really also to take the kid, under his arm and say, here, let me show you some of the things that I learned And I was here before, and I've come back again. So I learned a lot the first time, and I want to help you, make that leap.
Do you think, Bob, that if he does mentor the next guy, do you think he tells them, make sure, if you owe someone money or they owe you money, you pay them back? You think he puts any of that in there, or you think he leaves that out,
or learn how to duck?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I got you. Well, all right. Well, guys, I appreciate it. I did want to give a shout out to MFC because I heard he won the raffle, and he's here every morning, dropping super chats and stuff like that. And he's just a really good dude. And he got his Indy shirt the other day, so he sent me a photo. Anyway, make sure you get his cabin number because I didn't get his cabin number when I sent the package, and I think the guy just threw it down on the ground somewhere. So make sure you get that cabin number.
We'll do.
Which he lives at the train station, if you didn't know. So just
have a good rest of your week.
Yes, y'all too. We'll talk to y'all later.
There he is, Bad Shot. I see MFC's in the chat, so MFC, if you missed it, you did win our raffle for the month of March. I saw you a lot of people come in and out of the show. So MFC, you won. Please reach out to me ASAP. You did win our March raffle. Congratulations and good on you. Please just send me your shipping info as soon as you can. I'm going out and about today with the Mets game, so if you get it to me at the right time and I have the right box around here, you could get that ASAP. So let me know as quickly as possible. Mother effing chew out in our audience. All right, let's keep rolling on the phone lines. We have plenty of callers trying to get in on the show, and I knew that this one was coming. And Bob, I don't think you're going to be very happy about this one, but nonetheless, I am a man of the people. Lou B. Super Jets fan has entered the octagon.
Why would I not be happy that Lou B. Super Jets fan is?
Okay, well,
Bob is not the guy.
Yeah.
Bob, I have a question for you this morning.
Okay.
And I know that you know. Does Woody care about selling tickets?
I don't know how to make a number one sign, but that's what his number one interest is.
Okay. So, Bob, for the last 30 years, I sell tickets. I do concerts. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I book talent that people don't know until I announce the talent. They start to look into it. I did it a long time ago with a guy named Tim Berg. His name became Avicii and became one of the biggest acts in history. But I was booking him, projecting what it would sell after people looked at it. So ticket sales are ticket sales. No matter what it is, it's a seat, it's a business. I believe if the Jets draft Mendoza, we would have sold a lot of tickets at MetLife.
Yeah.
But that's not on the cards. That's not on the playing field for us right now. So the second person that I believe as a promoter is Jeremiah Love.
I was going to say, I'll bet you're going to say Jeremiah Love. Yeah.
Yes. So if we do draft Jeremiah Love, there will be this massive press excitement, the PR team, the social media team at One Jets Drive, and they will start showing these highlights of a man dominating college, of the guy who's the number one. So the bad narrative, they drafted a running back, oh my God, then they'll change that narrative to, wait a second, did you see this guy? He's the number one rated player of PFF, in every single thing that you look at, he is the number one rated guy on everyone's board. When people talk, any analysts, they say, my number one is Jeremiah Love, blah, 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 and they go into the next thing. So they'll be able to sell this. The next thing is AG, from the middle of the season last year, said it's a rushing league. As you can see, you cannot convince this man of anything except what he believes. He believed Gino is going to take us to the Super Bowl. So whatever he has in his head, he has in his head. Frank Wright, if you look into his past, he cares about the running back too. It's a big part of Frank's game. The next thing is, when we say that Muji will not trade Brees, we traded Sauce and Williams. He will trade anyone. If anyone thinks that Brees is not on the block on trade day, Brees is on the block right now. Brees, if we franchised, he'll have in that contract. Brees is on the block. The next thing is, I was watching it like 5 o'clock in the morning, Connor Rogers and the Badlands guys. Yeah. And I sent it to you, BG, this morning. It was six guys talking.
Okay.
And they said, if Brees would have got traded to Kansas City, would this not be the Jeremiah Love show? And every single guy on that show was saying, yes, 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 yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And the next thing is, Boy Green on this show has the hat on right now. It's all across the board. People are seeing it. Jeremiah Love could be the explosive answer to save Gino and AG. I understand that we need a defense, but we have just in free agency have picked up so many guys on defense. We re-signed guys that we already had on our team. I believe that they went very heavy on defense in free agency because they are planning to give us an offense. We need a wide receiver. That man right there standing is a wide receiver. We need an explosive running back because we may not have one. I believe Jeremiah Love is going to be that pick. Did he say it yesterday 7 times? That could be smokescreen. That could be where he wants someone to come trade up. So my whole thing is, if we don't take Jeremiah Love, let's get paid for it. I'm also a fan that wants to see us win. Let's go out there and get paid for it. They also met Jeremiah Love. This guy, his presence is such a leader. He's such a respect. He at the combine, he ran like 1 second slower than his father was like, "Dad, you could have done faster."
I love that.
Guy is unbelievable. All I ask is I respect everyone's opinion in this chat, right?
Yeah.
All I ask is please go watch his highlights again. I know Breece Hall is a good player. I understand Breece Hall in college was great too. But I also watched Breece Hall's social media. If you do not see what he's saying and you're saying, oh, he's not saying nothing, he's just being young. When you're reposting big fat liar, when you're saying big comments, when you're saying at the press conference, I'm not their guy. I'm not their guy. Breece doesn't want to be here. He's told friends of mine he doesn't want to be here. One thing I'm not is a liar. Jeremiah Love could be on the Jets this year. And we have enough draft capital to address defense. We can trade Breece to Washington, D.C. and use it as a chip to come up to 7 and then go get one of the possible guys who could be just as good as Arvell Reese. Bain could fall till 7. Bailey could fall till 7. Caleb Downs could fall till 7. There is nobody that has a crystal ball, and I'm not saying I do, but my crystal ball says one of those guys will be at 7 because it's just the math. So one of those guys could be as good as Arvell. If you take Jeremiah Love at 2, you use Breece to trade up, and you go get one of these defensive monsters. Because in the middle of the year, we could say, damn, Bain was better than Arvell. Or Bailey just made 3 sacks in 1 game. I'm just saying, it's possible. Sorry to go on my rant. I'll shut up now. But that's my take on Jeremiah.
I enjoy when somebody winds you up every day to start your Jeremiah.
Passion. Come on. Passion.
DG started me yesterday. He tagged me in some AG post.
I heard it. I was listening to the AG presser yesterday. I was able to carve out time, make sure I had nothing else going on. So I was sitting live. Thank God the Jets streamed it. I just had my little pen out here, and I got a whole piece of paper. Here it is. Here's a whole piece of paper filled with notes on timestamp. Oh, at 3 seconds, AG says this. Oh, at 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, they asked him that question, and I heard love, 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 love. And I'm like, oh, that's very love, 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 love. And I'm like, did he just
7.
Yeah, it could be. It maybe it kind of leaked out of that side of his head. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's been watching so much love; it's just on his mind.
Shit.
Well, you make a good point. If you took Jeremiah with the 2nd pick in the draft, and then you could find a way to trade up. Yeah, because New Orleans and Washington are probably the 2 teams that most mock drafts think that Jeremiah Love is going to go in there. They're 7, 8, whatever. And he probably is, as far as offensive players, he's the crown jewel.
Sure.
Every time I watch him on film, it reminds me of Saquon Barkley when he came out.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Sure.
Great, unbelievable balance and an ability to break tackles and look at the kind of player he is in the pros. So, I guess the only hang up in my head, and it's just a stupid hang up, is can we get a 3 for him? But as part of a deal, to get that 7th pick, or maybe a better one than that?
What about the value of 3, Bob? Maybe not a 3, but the value. Like when you're coming up in the points chart, and Muji's on the phone, he says to Washington, "You don't got to give me a 3, whatever, but it's the value of that 3. That's the points, right? So if we use those points, and we give them 16, obviously, because they're going to trade back from 7 to 16. So it's 16 Brees, and maybe it's something else.
Well, what's the value of a 3 if you don't get a 3?
BG's good at this. I'm not.
Yeah.
I know we have enough money.
I know it's points, but
yeah.
But you're not going to take a 4th and a 7th.
No. They're going to want 16, obviously.
No. I mean, you're going to give them a 16, but you got to give them more than that.
A value of a 3 would be, BG knows better than I, but you're going to get that, and you may have to throw in something else. But think about just going up to, let's just say we don't take Love. Going up to 7, to me, is a very, very strong thing for us because Washington does need picks. They do need picks. So if there's anyone that's vulnerable right there at 7, it's Washington. So we move up to 7. We can take possibly someone that we wanted to take it to. I've been saying right now this whole time that 7 is possibly the same pick that we might have taken at 2 because we don't. Maybe Bain is there. Maybe they like Bain better than Arvell. The one thing we know right now is we know absolutely nothing about what the Jets are thinking.
Let me ask you this. Would you do this? Okay. So I'm looking at Washington's picks. So if the Jets gave up 16 and Brees Hall to move up to 7 and they got back Washington's 3rd rounder, would you do that? And their 3rd rounder, by the way, is 71 overall. Would you do that?
BG, we would be giving them a 3rd rounder.
And Brees Hall?
No, Brees is the 3rd rounder. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That I think Brees is worth. Maybe I'm thinking he's worth a little bit more than that. That you give up 16 and Brees Hall, you jump up to 7. They give you 7 and a 3rd. That is 1,500. So the Jets are at 1,600. That's 500 difference, and then 235. So 500 would be early 2nd round.
So 16 and 44 has the value to go to up to 7 to 10, right?
Correct. Yes. Okay. Right. So again, we start getting more complicated. Washington wants more picks, so that may be difficult to pull off. But either way, if you start including the Brees Hall element, that may have to be a separate thing. But still, no, there's a lot of ways.
Hall, and I'm just saying, even if they don't trade Brees, still moving to 7 is incredible for us.
I agree.
All day and go get Caleb Downs. That could is the 2nd best player in draft.
Okay,
let's go.
Hey, thanks for your call, Luke.
You're the best. There he is, Lou B.
There's a lot of people waiting. When we don't have that much time today, Paul. So let's try to look through this.
Well, first, let's go to T-Town. Jetty has just become a Boy Green Espresso Club member.
Hey, great move.
On his membership, that's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So shout out to T-Town Jet here for jumping on the train.
It's Jets, Jets. I love Fireman Ed, too.
Town Jet, that means you have 5 raffle tickets for a brand new contest this month here in the month of April. Thank you for joining the Espresso Club. That's very meaningful. And of course, you have all the other perks that are included in the Espresso Club and the Coffee Club, respectively. So absolutely love that. And he says, hit that like button. It's free to do. Please do that. T-Town Jet, a new member to the Espresso Club. Boom, shakalaka. Love it. All right, up next. Wow, I haven't seen this guy in a while. Ted, NYXFL is back, baby.
Morning, gentlemen. Paul, I was a little burned out from all the draft talk, but I do love hearing the other interesting takes from the callers. Lou made a very compelling case, except that we literally had no INTs and couldn't cover anybody. So I don't think the timing's right for Love, unfortunately. But he would be a spectacular player to draft.
Yeah.
But
timing is so key in Love. Timing is so key in Love.
Literally, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a Sonny Styles guy. Okay. And I've seen him go as high as 3. I'm willing to possibly slide down 1 or 2 spots if somebody wants to come up for Love and take Styles. I would even stick and take Styles at 2. And I would take like somebody like Mesidor at 16. if you're going to go.
Be fun.
And you know, when the Jets scouted Bain, they certainly looked at Mesidor.
No doubt.
And I just saw a mock where Mesidor made it to the top 12 to the Cowboys. And
wow.
people that are a little leery about a 25-year-old player coming out of college, you're going to see a lot more of those type of players. And the Will Anderson $35 to $40 million a year contract out there, I don't think a lot of these pass rushers are going to get signed. They're basically going to get traded at the end of their rookie their rookie. A lot of them, if you have a Will Anderson, obviously you're going to pay him, but somebody like a Will McDonald, you may end up flipping him before you give him any kind of money. So it might come to the point where they're almost like running backs, to a point where they last their rookie contract and they really don't get a second big deal. Rarely, if ever.
Yeah. You have to be really special, I guess, to get that kind of crazy money.
Yeah. So that's my draft point. Gino, Gino just has to be Aaron Rodgers. That's the way I look at it. Let him just go out there. Let him go out there and get 25 touchdowns, and it's only one and a half a game.
Yep.
He has to be a little bit better than Rodgers when it comes to playing against better teams, because Rodgers was horrendous against against good teams. He wasn't very good. So I know everyone's point. The draft talk is fascinating. It's wild. It's a puzzle. It's a chessboard. It's everything you want it to be. So that's all I got for today, Paul. I hope you have a great time up in Pittsburgh doing your thing. I still watch, but I do like to sit back, and my schedule has been crazy, but I still like to sit back and hear other people talk and listen to all the theoretical discussions about the draft.
100%. Yeah, thank you, Ted. And by the way, nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of people that will never call into the show and just watch. And I get those emails every once in a while, and those are very warming of the heart. So I appreciate that. And Ted is someone who's called in a ton, and he's decided to sit back and watch. Nothing wrong with that at all. So appreciate Ted. Shout out to him for joining us here on the program. Let's keep the train rolling. Up next, Johnny Boy here on the program, dressed to the nines. Whoa, look at this guy. Hey, we're not in Pittsburgh yet, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm having to go in the office real quick.
All right.
Morning, Bob.
Good morning, Johnny. How are you?
Doing really well. Thank you for asking. And yourself?
I'm okay. It's actually, I'm exhausted watching my wife get more exhausted getting ready for the holiday.
Oh, yes, of course.
I hear you. I wanted to touch on what you guys were talking about with the Aaron Glenn, the whole promised land stuff. And first off, BG, thank you for playing the entire clip. I think it keeps getting just clickbaited in the sense of just he's leading us to the promised land. That's it. And then the Daily News, as soon as that happened, went out and just put it over their socials and et cetera, et cetera. But do you think that Aaron Glenn is trying to protect Gino in the sense of we all remember Gino from getting his jaw broken? And this is something for you as well, Bob, that I'm asking. And is that what he's talking about in the sense of the chip? Coming back, wanting to prove everybody that they messed up on letting him go back in the day, that he was that guy? Or is that me just reaching for some BS answer from Glenn?
No, not reaching. Now, they didn't quote the jaw situation verbatim, but they, I think it was Rich who brought it up saying, things didn't end the best for Gino, and we could all sort of fill in the gaps there. Yes, I think there was that with the chip on the shoulder. He was asked directly that, hey, did the previous stuff, Gino's not just some random veteran, who's a good example? Kyler Murray, right? Like he had no connection to the Jets before he potentially could have signed this offseason. There's no prior history. There's no nothing, good, bad, or indifferent. Like Gino, he was here before, so there's history, good and bad, with Gino. Mostly bad, unfortunately, for Gino, but mostly bad of him coming here. So AG was asked about that. Did that all come into the ethos as you guys are picking quarterbacks? And he said, yes, of course that came up, but again. I was initially surprised that the Jets were interested in Gino. Gino was interested in the Jets only because of that history. The Jets remember what happened. Gino remembers what happened. Normally, those two, that couple, when they break up, they don't get back together ever. So I was surprised on both sides that either of them were interested in it. But now that it's here, yeah, the chip on the shoulder. That's what Gino said in his Justine Anderson interview. He said that he wanted a coach who had a chip on his shoulder because I have a chip on my shoulder. So he saw that AG had a 3-14 year, and he's doing everything to try to turn it around. Gino and his journey through all of this is trying to right the wrongs, as he said it, and put a lot of different things that way. So yes, you're not reaching. That wasn't directly said about the job thing, but it was clearly implied when they were talking about the ghost of yesteryear from his first tenure with the Jets. Bob?
I think that when it comes to Gino, that he had the experience that they wanted in a veteran quarterback, that he was available, and the price was right. Both in terms of draft capital they had to deal, which was basically nothing, and the fact that the Raiders ate a good part of his contract. So I think we're only paying him $3 million.
That's correct.
Yeah. So I mean, it was the best of several different, options. Plus, there were a handful of quarterbacks who said, "I don't want to go to the Jets. No how, no way."
Right.
Gino, because they made the deal, had no other option.
Right.
I mean, he could have rejected the Jets and say, "No, I don't want to go back there."
Right.
And the Jets would have had to look elsewhere.
Correct.
But the guy that landed the punch on Gino lasted a year longer than Gino did with the Jets.
True.
So, no, I mean I expect he's going to have a reasonable year. I don't think he ain't going to lead us to the promised land. Certainly not this year. But again, like I said before, give us a good professional representative year at QB. Show some leadership. Rally the boys, around you and take them as far as you can go. 6-7 wins, maybe. Save AG's job, and be prepared next year to take the kid under your wing and to show him how to do it.
Yeah, I just, again, with him saying that, and I think AG tries to take a lot of the stuff like on the chest, right, for a lot of his players, because that was going to come out at some point in regards to when he got his jaw broken. And it's, look, we got the guy that got his jaw broken. Look what he's doing. But I also remember just a year ago, or even this year, dude, with the whole interception situation with Gino, but there was a whole bunch of people that were wanting to trade for Jameis Winston.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
yeah.
I just don't, like, I don't get it. He was the best out of the crap that was out there. At least in my opinion. I mean, Kirk Cousins doesn't want to come over here.
Yeah.
He's used us before, used us and abused us. So I thought his actual interview yesterday, being very less combative, chill, relaxed, was a good look for him. And especially with the New York media, I think that'll help him out, especially if his job's on the line, as they're saying, this upcoming year, to be able to, because a lot of these guys, I mean, Costello, Cimini, they have a lot of respect for AG. They've always said nothing but good things about AG. So I don't know, but I know you guys got a whole bunch of people wanting to come.
I'll just say one more thing. And I think that AG, when you think about it, was in a no-win situation. He could have answered or suggested yesterday, look, we're bringing him back. We believe in him. He's going to have a much better offensive line than he had out in Las Vegas. We've got a good running back behind him, and we're looking to fortify there. We're going to bring in another receiver or two to really give him more options. We've got a good, solid young tight end. So we think that Gino is a good component in that whole offense. And somebody would have said, oh, they just put the pressure on Gino that he's got to perform because of all these things that they've built around him. So it's a no-win situation.
But thanks, Johnny Boy. Appreciate it, pal.
Thanks.
And shout out to Johnny Boy. He was the co-host with James Woody on Boy Green Meets Woody yesterday. Shout out, of course, to Jets Worldwide, all one word. Jets Worldwide. Subscribe to them on YouTube. All right, back to the phone lines here. Up next is Ricky New York live.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning.
First of all, I suppose that this whole debate, I mean, if Promised Land actually does mean Super Bowl, that's the goal of every team.
Sure.
So in that sense, that's what you're supposed to shoot for. Now, him saying like we're gonna be there, but the thing is I guess it comes down to what he meant by Promised Land. I don't think he was really meaning Super Bowl. I think he was meaning Gino's gonna be bridge quarterback, whatever, the vehicle to get us to where we want to be, which is, someone to hold down the fort, keep the ship together, as they continue to build. And they're going to put all the pieces in place. So next year, when we do draft that, potential franchise quarterback, everything is in place around him for him to be successful. That's kind of the way that I interpreted those comments. I don't think that he was necessarily meaning Super Bowl or playoffs or something. I think he just meant as an organization, he's going to be the one that's going to carry us to where we're trying to go.
I think he threw out a cliche that you could fill in the blank as to what he was referring to.
Sure, definitely.
Right.
And I would just say AG is not the first and won't be the last coach to use football cliches. They all use football cliches. So I don't beat up AG too much about it. I see a lot of people are. It's fine. If that's what people want to glom onto after that, so be it. I think there was 36 other minutes of conversation to me that were more interesting, but
right.
To each their own.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. But the thing about AG though, and what the best thing about being supremely confident in yourself is?
What's that?
You don't have to give a damn what anybody thinks about what you say. You just go about your business and you be yourself. And if people don't like it or they have something to say about it, who cares? And that's where I think AG is coming from. I mean, he's always talked the same kind of way. He talked that way when he was a player, So, I mean, he's kind of what you see is what you get. And granted, I suppose in that sense, it's an acquired taste. Maybe he's not for everybody, but you know what? And I'll compare him to like Rex. Rex came in, he was kind of loud and abrasive, but we were winning games.
Right.
And it was great. But you know what? When we stopped winning under Rex, all that big talk got real tired real fast.
Yep.
And we all look back now and we love
got
Rex.
criticized up the hill. Yep.
But at the end of his tenure, boy, people couldn't wait to run him out of here. So, I mean, I think that's the difference. If we were, a 14-3 team and not a 3-14 team, no one would give a crap about his pressers or what he said.
Yeah.
No one would care.
He said something yesterday as well that really we haven't talked about at all. And apparently he got some help from Frank Reich because he talked yesterday about people from Stanford coming to the Jets and helping the coaching staff learn what AI is all about and how to make it useful in their player evaluations. I think that's a big thing.
You know what? I actually did hear him say that. I'm kind of glad you brought that up.
Yeah, let me see. I got the guy's name here. I'm pulling up the staff because once I see the name, I'll know who he's talking about on the staff. It was, yes, Thomas Merkel. He is listed as an offensive assistant and the assistant quarterbacks coach. He was one of several that Frank Reich brought over from Stanford. And apparently Merkel and Seth Ryan, who also got a shout out, are part of a layer of their analytics team. They have an entire analytics department, but they're bringing AI to try to help and accelerate information gathering. So, and other things to that nature. So, yeah, I thought that was very nice. Yeah, great shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. Like as we were talking, I started having kind of like a side thought.
Okay, go ahead. No.
Well, no, yeah. You know what? I'll go ahead and say it.
All right.
Yesterday, I heard that and I've been reading about what happened with not just Trevor, but everybody at PFF.
Yes.
And what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this just, as good as he is with what he does, this seems like the perfect time for him to like springboard and like get his own thing going. And I don't know, maybe do some consulting for teams,
Sure.
Be somebody that, the scouts can interact with. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but dude, I would, and who else? There was somebody else I was reading this morning, different scenario. I mean, similar scenario, but, oh God, who was it that worked for FanDuel?
Mike Golick Jr. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, you know what? A couple of these guys from different venues that are in that situation.
Yeah.
Would like pool their resources together and put together some new powerhouse thing that's bigger and better. Because, man, I'll tell you what, after only a couple of days of the mock simulator running itself, all of a sudden, Ione is like falling into the 20s, and their mock was interesting. Definitely a shakeup there, but man, I don't know. Like I guess I didn't hear that news like right when it happened because I was asleep because I work nights.
Sure.
And so I was kind of late hearing about it, but dude, that's just boggling to me because it's him and Connor, dude. I watch all those NFL Stock Exchange shows. Super informative, and those guys are so good, and they put so much work into it. And I don't know.
Well, two things here. I just want to say this. So, Trevor is a dear friend of mine. That was brutal. I thought of any, again, I'm sad for anyone that lost their job from Pro Football Focus, of course. There's two guys in particular that I'm very friendly with. That is Dalton Wasserman, who's a fellow Jets fan and does a ton of stuff, and Trevor Sikkema. And I thought Trevor, with the standing with the company and everything, I said, oh, wow, he's in my head. Oh, he's definitely safe. So my jaw was on the floor when I came across that on social media, and I immediately reached out to him. And this is advice for everybody. Trevor did this correct, and this is for all of you out there that have a job in any field, let alone the sports media field. Trevor and Connor did a very smart thing a couple of years ago as NFL SE was created. Initially, when they made the show, they were putting it out on the PFF platforms. And then Connor and Trevor decided to make their own YouTube channel, and they were going to do NFL SE on their own channel, their thing. No connection to PFF outside of the fact that they both happen to work in some form or fashion with PFF. I told Trevor this over text, and I will say it to the rest of the world. I said, Trevor, that's one of the smartest things you ever did, because if and when anything happened to PFF, and something clearly did, you guys now have your own thing that can't be taken away from you. And I've had that happen, not that happened to me, thankfully, in the past, where I've had a channel, and whatever company I worked at the time wanted to be affiliated with my channel. I said, oh, no. This is a separate thing. I'll do stuff with you, but this is a separate thing. So people out there in the audience, huge advice. smart thing they did. And now Trevor and Connor, for that matter, can add even more to this because Trevor has more free time now, so even more for NFL SC. But that was the smartest thing that he did. I just want to throw that out there in the universe. Own your own stuff.
Absolutely. And I don't know him like obviously as well as you do, but you know, I'll tweet at him, you know, whatever, and we message back and forth in that way, and it's always like hashtag Tampa fam, you know.
I love that. That's cool
because he's Tampa Bay Trey,
of course,
which is awesome because he wasn't born and raised here, but he did live here for a while, and so like there's been times I'm like, let me ask you, when you lived here, did you live in this area? Because that like, which he didn't, it turns out, but he lived near the college, so which makes sense. But dude, like I was watching him like back when him and Mike Renner were together. Like,
of course,
I've been watching him for a while, and like I said, just that they're a tremendous source of information. So I'll give them a free plug right now. Like all you people that are into all this draft talk and you want really good analysis, that's a good resource to listen to for sure, man. Him and Connor both just do an outstanding job.
They do. So, Ricky, I want to thank you so much. And again, a huge shout out to PFF and the fine folks over there. And hopefully they all land on their feet. Thanks, brother.
I'm sure. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get like off topic.
No, not at all. Not at all. I understand. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you, Ricky.
I've got to run.
Yes, and so do all of us. So yeah, sorry for all the callers that are waiting. We're gonna call it a wrap here on the show. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you later. Thanks, everybody.